Elara's story began in a small village nestled amidst rolling hills, where education was a luxury few could afford, and even fewer saw the need for. Born into a family of farmers, Elara was destined for a life of tilling the soil, her hands calloused and her mind unlettered. The world of books and letters was a closed door to her, a source of quiet shame in a community that valued strength over schooling. As she blossomed into a young woman, Elara's heart ached for more than the fields offered. She watched the village children, their faces alight with curiosity, as they gathered around the traveling storyteller, and a deep yearning sparked within her. She wanted to understand the tales, to read the words herself, to unlock the secrets held within those mysterious pages. Her family, however, scoffed at her aspirations. "What good are books to a farmer's daughter?" her father would grumble. "They won't fill your belly or mend a fence." Her mother, though softer, urged her to focus on finding a good husband, a man who could provide. Then came the bitter sting of love disappointed. Elara fell for a young man from a neighboring village, a scholar who charmed her with his eloquent words and gentle demeanor. She imagined a life where he would teach her, where they would read together under the shade of ancient trees. But when he learned of her illiteracy, his admiration turned to pity, and then to a polite but firm rejection. "You are a lovely woman, Elara," he'd said, his voice laced with regret, "but our worlds are too different." It was a wound that cut deeper than any harsh word from her family. Devastated but resolute, Elara knew she had to forge her own path. She left her village, a small bundle of clothes and a heart full of determination her only companions. She found work in a bustling town, first as a scullery maid, then as a market vendor, her hands still calloused, but her spirit unbroken. Every spare moment, every hard-earned coin, was dedicated to her secret mission, learning to read. She sought out an elderly, kindly scribe who, seeing the fire in Elara's eyes, agreed to teach her in exchange for small tasks. It was a painstaking process. The letters swam before her eyes, stubborn and elusive. Frustration often brought tears, but the memory of her family's dismissal and her lost love fueled her resolve. Slowly, painstakingly, the letters began to form words, the words sentences, and the sentences stories. The world began to unfold before her in a way she had never imagined. Elara's thirst for knowledge became insatiable. She devoured every book she could get her hands on, her mind expanding with each new tale and fact. She realized that many children, like herself, were denied the gift of education, not out of malice, but out of circumstance and a lack of resources. A new dream began to take root in her heart, to build a school, a place where every child, regardless of their background, could learn to read and write. With unwavering dedication, Elara saved every penny. She worked tirelessly, her hands now skilled in various trades, her mind sharp and resourceful. She faced skepticism and ridicule from some, but others, inspired by her journey, offered their support. Years passed, each one bringing her closer to her goal. Finally, after what felt like a lifetime of struggle, Elara stood before a small, humble building, freshly painted and filled with eager faces. Her school. She had done it. Her family, who had once rejected her aspirations, now looked upon her with a mixture of awe and pride. They had come to understand the value of her dream, and even her father, his eyes softened by age, admitted she had proven them all wrong. One day, a familiar face appeared at the school's open door. It was the scholar who had once rejected her. He had heard of her achievements, of the woman who had defied expectations to bring education to her community. His eyes held a newfound respect, a touch of admiration that had been missing before. He offered his apologies, his regret palpable. Elara, her heart long healed, smiled kindly. "Our worlds are no longer so different," she said, her voice filled with quiet strength. They became friends, sharing a mutual love for books and learning, a testament to the bridges that knowledge could build. Elara, once an illiterate girl, became a beacon of hope in her community. Her school flourished, a testament to her indomitable spirit and the power of a dream. She had not only learned to read but had also taught countless others to do the same, proving that the greatest education often comes from life's hardest lessons, and that the most beautiful stories are often written by those who dare to dream beyond the pages. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting stories.